Call to order Personnel and Finance Committee. First item discussion, 4K financial discussion. Chris, you good?
Are there any extra handouts?
Should be. We'll pass them right around the corner. All right, board members, what you have in front of you, we're looking at, this is the review that was requested by Mr. Cronic. And let me first state that Mr. Cronic, and I'll get to the end of this, but as a summarization of this, he does have merit in the fact that Waterford Greater will receive additional revenue by adding 4K. That's not to this scenario. I work with Chris here. Tries to segment a few things out so we don't reflect declining enrollment numbers. I wanted to make sure this was a clean 4K addition or non-addition so we can see the actual numbers. So in actuality, we will make money. And this is a very strange scenario, and I'll give that to you, Matt. We will make money by adding 4K. So you heard that from me. I don't know. But I just want to make sure you heard that.
I heard.
So, however, the reason we are going to make money on this is because Waterford now is set up with a decent fund balance reserve that we wouldn't have had a few years back. We're set up with a low enrollment on our kindergarten classes, so we have the space for it. If we didn't have the space and we didn't have the fund balance, there's no way to do it. But because we do have the fund balance, we could actually foot the bill on this on the first year, and subsequent money coming in would pay for the original bill footing on that one and bring our fund balance back up. It's not a end-all to saving a declining enrollment because we still are declining. However, as I say that, this year we added, what was it, 30 students? 18 students.
Plus the open enrollment.
Okay. So take it out, there were about 18 of our real students. We had more open
From
enrollment.
September to January, 18.
So, as long as we don't decline, we're doing okay. And the problem is with, you've heard the same thing in the past. Sally Joe had an idea that we're going to increase by 2% for us, so we should build a new middle school. Well, nobody can control the future past a few years from now. So we're not certain what's going to happen, but my best guess scenario, Chris's best guess scenario, we went over this today. I have not talked to the folks at the state. My original discussion with 3 different people at the Department of Public Instruction, School Finance Division, and even the head of it, was our funding level is 37%, well 37.5%, and that's what we should expect. And that's what I had anticipated, and of course when we look at the final numbers on the state aid, we actually do get more than we're paying for the program. Now that being said, I still want to check with the Department of Financial, or the School Financial Services Division, and see if they can explain why we'll be receiving twice what we're putting into a program. Because the last lady laughed at me when I told her we want to get more out of the program than we're paying for it. So, but as far as it sits right now, if you were to ask me right now, this is irrelevant of whether or not 4K is actually good or bad for all the students. You can see by the graphs we just saw. Some students it was very good for, other students it didn't do much more. The question comes into whether or not the 4K was good for the students. I would tend to lean towards the side 4K is good for students. So it really comes down to me, and always has been, I've said this before, if it's paid for, I don't have a problem with 4K. But that's if it's paid for. And if I look at this right now, I would give a recommendation of it would be paid for. Let me just go over the bottom line of this one here. What we have is a middle, we have the upper one showing a no 4K. We have the center one showing with 4K. And the bottom one is the scenario between the two. Chris originally had in here an increase out of the local tax levy to fund the original 350. I don't think we need to take the increase out of the local tax fund. I mean, we're at, 43% on our fund balance. So I would think 40% is a good shot to go for. I've been here at times when we're down at 25. We've increased from there. We no longer borrow on an annual basis. Now we just, we have a decent fund balance and can actually do something. It's not an over fund balance. It's comparable to most other areas, of the school districts in the area. So I don't have a problem with our current fund balance at 40. And I think the state recommendation is, what was it, 25 to 40? They keep fudging the number up.
Well, it's between 30 and 33 typically.
Yeah.
That's what they recommend.
They keep moving around because it was low, then it started moving higher. So anyways, 40 is a good number to stay at. I don't think we should look at increasing it. However, when we do this, because we're getting more out of the state, eventually our taxing ability is going to decrease. This per student taxing ability. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that because we don't want to get in the predicament where we have to go to a referendum to increase in the future. And that's got the possibility 4 or 5 years down the line.